Good morning and welcome back. Welcome back to You Already Know Where, in the trenches with Dr. Tammy. Listen, listen, listen to this. I am so excited today. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am. I am on this absolutely natural high. You see, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and guess what happened? This lady right here is a published author. Yes, indeed. The book is about to hit the shelves and places ready for you. It is called, as we remember, A Brown Skinned Girl Like Me. The elementary years. Yes, it's about little old bitty Dr. Tammy when she was a youngster. I think you're going to absolutely love it. I will be sharing where you can purchase the book, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, let's move on to today's episode. Last week, I spoke about low value, or as I should say, not using that terminology anymore. And as I moved beyond that week, people reached out, as they always do, and I love it. Keep it coming. They wanted me to talk a little bit more about what it is that works for me. So for this week, we're going to talk about something that I call the free-ish. Yes, some of you might know it as the SH blank T, that's free. But for me, we're simply going to call it this week the free-ish. They wanted to know why did I talk about me needing more than material things. Because for me, that's not what I'm all about. So I actually took a few notes because I wanted to make sure that I touched upon all of the things that are important to me. And when I say important to me, there may be other ladies out there that feel the same way as I do. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. The man who is going to be the man for me is going to give me the free-ish. And this is how it's going to start. Support. He is going to support my goals and my dreams. And let me be clear about this one thing that I learned in my previous relationship. He's going to do those things without feeling as if he is in competition with me. He is going to do this without being envious of any success that I might have. Let me tell you why. Because he will realize that we're in this thing together. He's got me and I got him. Family. Ooh, this is a big one for me. Family. Does he love his kids? We've talked about this on the podcast previously. He must absolutely love his kids. How on earth would I be able to expect for him to care and love my kids if he doesn't love his own? And when I say this, I want more than just love, because I would pray and hope that he loves his kids. But is he actively doing his very best to be a part of their lives? And let me keep it real, sisters. Sometimes some of us, not me, but some of us make it difficult for men to be a part of the lives of their children. So for me, is he putting forth the effort? Is he doing every single thing in his power to be involved in their lives? That's important to me because my kids are important to me. And if we are going to form a union of some type, committed relationship, hopefully a marriage with a blended family, there must be love involved. I'm going to love his kids. He's going to love my kids. And that is where I stand on that. We got to do this thing together. And I hope that makes sense to each of you. Families that are blended families, sometimes that's difficult. But if love already exists on both sides and we work together, there's no doubt that we can be successful. He is going to be consistent and intentional. Let's talk about this for a second. Does he always, always, always show up for me? And is he intentional about it? Without a shadow of a doubt. He also needs to be intentional about what he wants for me and for us. Far too many times we are in relationships where the other person is constantly making plans, but the plans always sound like this: I will, I have, I want, as opposed to what he or she wants for us. And it may also sound like what he or she wants for you or for me. Because when the plans are being made and they're considering you, that's extremely important. And let me say again, emphasis on us, on us, on us. He won't be afraid to make those plans. He also won't be afraid to share those plans with me and talk to me about those plans. Because if we're building a life together, those conversations will be had. Let's talk about it. And let's not just talk about it, honey. Let's be about it. In fact, he is going to want to include me in all of the making of the plans. He may have a vision for us. Share it with me. Because in a relationship, the other person more than likely can add some value to what it is that the couple is trying to achieve. Remember, there are two of you. There are two of you in that relationship. And let me just tell you, he is not going to let me down when it comes to building something special for us. He is going to be, work with me now, trustworthy, reliable, and honest. Because let me tell you, I am very much in a place in which that is a necessity for me. As you have followed my story and my journey, you know that I was in a relationship in which those things seemingly did not exist in the end when I found out information, let's call it that, information that had not been shared with me. So, the man for me, he will keep his word. I won't have to be concerned with whether or not he will do what he said. Because, baby, he is going to do what he said when it comes to me. I won't have to ask him, is he telling the truth? Because guess what? I'll be able to trust that he is. I can trust that he always, always, always has my best interest at heart. He will be honest with me. He will be honest with me even when there is a need for courageous conversations. And I think people forget that part about relationships. Sometimes you have to talk about things that may be tough conversations. There needs to be two-way communications. He sharing with me, and I will be sharing with him. And again, sometimes tough conversations. But most importantly, you have to remember that the relationship won't be able to grow. A healthy relationship will not be able to grow if you're not having the necessary uncomfortable conversations. And trust me, I'm here for it. This gentleman has to be affectionate, Because this lady right here, she loves physical touch as her number one love language. Physical touch. He will hold my dang hand. He's going to kiss my forehead. He is going to give me all the hugs that I could ever imagine that I needed. Because I love a good hug. And guess what? He is going to do this without giving it a second thought. And he will not even flinch if it's done in public. Because he is going to want this entire world to know that I belong to him. He will revere me. He is going to be so proud of this lady right here. He is going to want everybody to know that we are together. He will want you to know how big this light actually shines. While he might consider this outer beauty marvelous, what he's going to want the world to know about me is that my inner beauty is so much bigger than the outer beauty. And he's going to be proud of that. He's going to encourage me to be who it is that I am. He's going to encourage me to continue to strive into the person who I want to become. Because as you know, or as I hope that you know, I'm still a work in progress. I'm striving to be a great mom, a wonderful friend, hopefully a significant other, and possibly a wife in my near future. But I want to give all of those people in each of those relationships the very best version of me. So the man for me is going to encourage me to do so. He is even going to wipe my tears when I feel like I have failed. Because there are days in which I do feel as if, even though I gave it my all, I didn't quite make the mark. I sometimes feel like I failed. That's okay, but I still feel that way sometimes. Once he's finished wiping those tears, he is going to push me to get on back out there and do it again. Because guess what? In his eyes, failure is not going to be an option for me. Because he is going to want to make sure that I'm great. And he's going to do that while standing right beside me. He's also going to be chivalrous. I know. Y'all are saying, Dr. Tammy, you want too much. No, I don't. This is the free-ish, remember? He's going to open doors for me. He is going to pull out my chair. When we're having coffee in the morning, if he's up first, he's going to ask me what I like in my coffee. Babe, you want a cup? I'm going to say, absolutely. You know why? Because all of these things that I know that this man that's made for me is going to be doing for me, I too will be doing for him. You better make no mistake about it. Now this one is the one that gets people confused all the time. Let's talk about it. Provision, honey. He is going to provide for me. But before you all get excited or get angry because of what I said last week about provision, I still stand on that. He will provide for me. But baby, I am absolutely not talking about money. He is going to do what then, Dr. Tammy? As I said before, he's going to take up the slack where I need it the most. In areas in which I might be lacking, he is going to be there to make sure I don't fall. Let me give you a couple examples. Y'all know I hate taking out the trash. We've talked about this. Wednesday nights, when it's time to take out that trash, this girl is like, oh Lord, here we go again. I know that seems small to y'all. I know that it does. But if I'm in the middle of working on the project and I need to get up and lose that train of thought, that can be a big thing. So to take that small thing off of my plate that could equate to a big thing for us and what we have going on, that's a major big deal for me. Something else that he can do is help me get that office organized because, whew, if you've been in there, you already know it needs a little bit of help. But I'm busy, and I'm sure he will be too. But if we work together, we can come up with a plan to get that office together. Something else that he can do for me that is a provision for me, that provides for me and for us, do not laugh. He can help me to remember to charge these lights for this podcast because I sometimes forget. I'm busy doing so many things and they're not all related to me. There are things that other people need and I am okay with that. I have such an amazing heart, a big heart, that if people need something, I will often stop doing what I'm doing to help them. So because he knows about this heart of mine and what it will do for others, he's going to check on those lights. He's going to take out that trash. He is going to organize my office. And yes, to some of you, those are small things. But for me, they're big things. Another example is, who has time to go and get their car detailed? You're ripping and running from place to place or doing this or doing that. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to make sure my car is in good shape just as well as his. Because we're a team. He is going to take care of me. And I am absolutely going to take care of him. So, what I want you to hear me say very loud and clear, every single thing that I have described to you about the man who God has made for me is free. I'm going to repeat what I said last week. I could care less about how much money he makes. I could care less about the house that he lives in. Because guess what? We're going to have the home that we work to build together. Whether it's standing or we're building it, doesn't matter. We're going to create that environment. And as far as the money comes, I've shared it before. We'll get to the money together because I'm going to support his vision and I'm going to push him just like he pushes me. Because again, two-way street. I'm going to be there for him. He's going to be there for me. So what I want you to remember, if nothing else, you heard it right here from Dr. Tammy. The man who's made for her, he's going to give her the free-ish. Come get me. Happy Friday. And let love win.